Let me also just quickly say, in Madeline Soto's case, if you don't know anything about her case, I would highly recommend checking out the playlist, because there's everything on there that you'd want to know, including summaries as well. Now, what we're waiting for in Madeline Soto's case is for the judge to make a ruling on whether or not the evidence found on Stefan Stearns' phone will be admissible as evidence or not, based on how the police got it. So that's already something that's like, what's going to happen? What will the judge decide? He has until, I think it's June 30th is when he said he will decide by. Today we are live on June 26th of 2025. Okay? So I am monitoring that. As soon as I know, I will let you know as well. And before we dive into this case, let me also say I'm going to be on Court TV later, so you can watch it on the website, courttv.com, click watch live. I'll be there at 9 p.m. Eastern time today to discuss Madeline Soto's case. I don't think we want to be discussing any of this, but I think this needs to be discussed, okay? All right. So are we ready, everyone? Now, who's this guy? Marcos R. Lopez is a former law enforcement officer and politician who served as the sheriff of Osceola County, Florida from January of 2021 until his suspension on June 5th of 2025. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. He grew up in Central Florida. He served 22 years in the U.S. Navy Reserve. He joined the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in 2003, working his way up through various roles. His experience included patrol, investigations, and administrative positions, giving him a deep familiarity with the agency. So he was there for a long time. Now, Marcos Lopez was elected as the Osceola County Sheriff in November of 2020, becoming the first Hispanic sheriff in Florida's history. He took office on January 5th of 2021 and was re-elected in November of 2024. He oversaw a department with approximately 600 employees and a $100 million budget. On March 2nd of 2024, less than 24 hours after Madeline Soto's body was found, a photo believed to depict her body was posted on Lopez's personal Instagram account. Some reports actually say he did this on March 1st. Oh my goodness, do you guys remember that? Do you remember when that happened? Janine Sage said, excited I catch you live. You're the best. Thank you so much, Janine. Do you remember when that happened? I mean, that was like, whoa, and he just got a slap on the wrist for that, and it was really bad. He took a picture of Madeline Soto's body, deceased body, when it was found, and then whoops, posted it on Instagram. He said, but it was like a gallery. He posted 6 pictures. He didn't know that he posted that. What do you mean? And I'm like, wow. So yes, the image was part of a photo carousel captioned "Great Day with Our Seniors," accompanied by a smiley face with a halo emoji. The photo showed a body in the woods wearing clothes consistent with what Stefan Stearns reported Madeline Soto was last seen wearing, and what she was obviously found in, that we found in from documents later as well, right? So yeah, WTF, for why does he have that picture? Why did he post that picture? All of those questions that we have. Now, the photo was sent to Sheriff Lopez per protocol, as the Osceola County Sheriff's Office was involved in the search and was the agency that first found Soto's body. Now, this is just the beginning. Okay, we're warming up to what he's actually been charged with now, because here he was like, okay, my bad, sorry. Now he's in jail facing a $1 million bond on racketeering charges, and that has many co-conspirators, and it's a huge criminal case at this point. Okay, so that's what we're getting to. I'm just telling you a little bit of backstory. So the sheriff's office did not clarify why Sheriff Lopez personally had the photo or who took it, raising questions about evidence handling. And you know how that can go at trials, right? Evidence handling. Oh no. Okay, so Sheriff Lopez and the Osceola County Sheriff's Office stated that the photo was inadvertently included in the post about a community event for seniors and was removed within 10 minutes of the error being realized. The Sheriff's Office issued a public apology stating, "We deeply apologize for any confusion or disturbance that this may have caused, and emphasized that any mistaken disclosures would be rectified." Sheriff Lopez, what happened to him? Well, he was charged with a non-criminal public records violation for failing to comply with Florida laws that make photographs depicting the killing of a minor confidential and exempt from public disclosure. On December 16th of 2024, Sheriff Lopez reached a plea deal, pleading no contest to a civil infraction and agreeing to pay a $250 fine, avoiding a potential $500. Can you believe these amounts? A $500 fine. The plea was finalized before a scheduled court hearing on December 20th of 2024. So this guy is very important in the case because he was the sheriff overseeing the case. This dude was there when Maddie Soto's body was found. He had a picture on his phone of her deceased body, and he posted it on Instagram, and they said, oh, sorry about that. Won't do that again, but yeah, now he is fired. And so this is where it starts possibly affecting the case. Okay, now I'm not trying to freak everyone out, but this is stressful. I do think the defense will work on this. They're going to attack the credibility of law enforcement at these trials. Stefan Stearns has 2 trials coming up in 2025. One will be for child SA material charges, and the other will be for murder charges. And for both, there's a couple of concerns along the way. Let me quickly tell you when those dates are. The CSAM trial at this point is set for pre-trial on July 2nd of 2025, and the trial is set for July 15th of 2025. So it's like right around the corner. And then the murder trial is set for pre-trial September 10th and for the trial September 22nd. Okay? So are you all following? Are we all on the same page of why this is a concern? Like, this guy was the sheriff overseeing the case who not only, like, you took a picture of the victim, the deceased little girl, and then you shared it on Instagram. Yeah, by mistake. I don't know, man. That just was very upsetting, right? Very, very upsetting. Southern Cali B says 2025 seems to be the year of justice. I agree. This case, they better, the state better bring it, right? So, now check this out. In July of 2024, State Attorney Andrew Bain notified Marcos Lopez that he might be added to the Brady list, which is a system identifying law enforcement officers whose credibility is in question. We don't need too many of those. You know what I mean? If there's like 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, that's a problem. The jury will be like, what is going on here? So, due to conflicting statements about the photo, on December 30th of 2024, Andrew Bain officially placed Marcos Lopez on the Brady list, citing these inconsistencies as evidence of untruthfulness. He criticized the Osceola County Sheriff's Office for conducting only an inquiry rather than a formal investigation, which avoided questioning Lopez under oath. Lopez announced plans to appeal the Brady list placement, arguing that his statements were misinterpreted and that the photo's body was not clearly visible. This could impact Marcos Lopez's ability to testify in the Stefan Stearns trials, where he's listed as a potential witness, as defense attorneys may challenge his credibility. So he might not even be able to testify at all because, the state will be like, oh my word, his credibility is just going to be attacked left and right. But that is why this is so important for us to look at this, because if he is going to testify, if he is called as the former sheriff, can you imagine how the defense will go after this? Like, guys, let me tell you, jury, the former sheriff, let me tell you what he did. And everything gets so much worse. This is actually a huge case, as I said. It's got lots of layers, and I'm going to try to get to the bullet points today. We could spend hours on this, okay? So this incident has raised widespread concerns about evidence handling and could taint juror perceptions in the case against Stefan Stearns. Though Andrew Bain stated the photos released would not impact the case's evidentiary value because they say there's an overwhelming amount of evidence. Yeah, but what if the judge rules that evidence found on the phone is not admissible? Because it's 50-50 at this point. We don't know what the judge is going to rule. We'll have to wait and see. If the judge rules that it is admissible, that they got consent to search Stefan Stearns' phone the way that they did, okay, well, there's still a couple of risk factors, right? I think you guys know I like to analyze risk, and I'm like, there's a bit of risk here. So legal experts have suggested that the post could open the sheriff's office to civil liability for negligence, which could negatively affect the case and cause Madeline Soto's family more grief. Now, the problem is when you look at each thing individually, you're like, okay, well, that's concerning, but then you start stacking them up and that becomes problematic. So on June 5th of this year, just 2 weeks ago, Sheriff Marcos Lopez was arrested in uniform. What? Look at him. I'll show you a clip of that as well. Wait, I've got a clip here from HSI, Tampa. He was arrested in uniform by Homeland Security agents and booked into the Lake County Jail in Florida. The former sheriff was thrown in jail, and then it's like, wait, why? What did he do now? He was charged with racketeering, a first-degree felony, and conspiracy to commit racketeering, a first-degree felony. In Florida, there are strict rules on the types of gambling, betting, and games that people can play, and the organizations and businesses that can operate those types of games. It's managed and overseen by the Florida Gaming Control Commission. So he was allegedly involved in a massive Central Florida gambling operation, like a whole syndicate, operating lotteries and slot machines primarily through a business known as Fusion Social Club, also referred to as Eclipse Social Club, in Kissimmee, Osceola County. Okay, so if I bring this one up, let's do it like this. I want to make this bigger for you. Hold on. They just posted this. I don't even think they sound. Look at him. That's so embarrassing. Oh my word, he's being arrested in uniform. What? Wow. Okay, Sarah, I think I just answered that question. He was very much involved in the case, you know what I mean? Okay, so I will link all my sources for you in case you want to go and look at some of this again, right? And there's lots. There's documents and video clips and, you know, his first court appearance and all of that, and we're going to get to more. But yes, there he was on June 5th of 2025, arrested, disgraced, in uniform. Prosecutors allege that Marcos Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting an illegal gambling enterprise that began around 2019 and continued until at least August of 2024. He allegedly used his position as sheriff to shield the operation from law enforcement scrutiny. Yeah, that's literally the opposite of what he's supposed to do as law enforcement and especially as the sheriff. Oh my word, this is so corrupt, okay? To shield the operation from law enforcement scrutiny, receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash payments, approximately $600,000 to $700,000, and campaign contributions. Oh crap. This is why they say this case could get even bigger, because they arrested him first, and then others. But who was above him? You know? Who helped to get him in as the sheriff? This is what the news is saying. Local news. I've been watching all these clips and I'm like, wait, what? Like, what if there's even more people connected to the case that's arrested? Stefan says he didn't understand his job description, right? Yeah, and True After Dark says $21 million scandal on top of everything else. Yeah, on top of everything else. Can you imagine? Okay, so after taking office in January of 2021, he reportedly continued to advance. So even after being elected in as the sheriff, he took office. He's not like, whoa, I better like stop that. No. He continued to advance the criminals organizations, the interests of it, collecting a portion of the illegal proceeds. Obviously, he got a cut, a big one. A 255-page FDLE affidavit, not yet publicly released. And let me just quickly check, because I have requested it and I'm waiting. I want to see, but that sounds long. But I want to see that 255-page FDLE affidavit. Florida Department of Law Enforcement. It's not yet publicly released. Reportedly includes WhatsApp messages, screenshots, and texts showing Lopez coordinating with co-defendants. Oh my goodness, doesn't that just make you mad? So on June 5th of 2025, he was suspended, obviously, immediately by the governor of Florida from his role as the Osceola County Sheriff. On June 6th of 2025, he appeared before the Lake County Judge Emily Curington. His bond was set at $1 million, which was $500,000 per charge. If he posts bond, he must surrender his passport and firearms, wear a GPS monitor, and prove that bond funds are not from criminal activity. He pleaded not guilty to both charges. He's not been able to post bond, and he remains in the Lake County Jail. And he's due back in court, apparently, for formal arraignment on June 30th of 2025. So, who else was arrested is the next question. But first, let me show you, is it this clip? I think it's this clip I want to show you.
Osceola County today appeared before a judge wearing jailhouse orange.
How do I start the bond process?
The judge set Sheriff Marcos Lopez's bond at $1 million. A criminal defense attorney told me today he was shocked by that.
Why do you feel it's excessive?
It's not meant to punish someone. The amount of a bond is to make sure that someone does not, is not a flight risk.
He's a flight risk, in my opinion. Like, this guy, like, he had so much power.
Prosecutors argued the
Look at
nature
him.
and circumstances of the case justify the bond, and the judge agreed. The state claims they have texts, WhatsApp messages, wire transfers, and more, proving the sheriff earned $600,000 to $700,000 in this alleged criminal enterprise. And they say they have photos that don't just show he was at the gambling house, but that he used his position as the sheriff to obstruct a criminal investigation there.
An extreme breach of public trust.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna link all these clips for you if you want to watch all of it, right? I just want to make sure that we stay on track and we keep going with who. I'm sure everyone's now asking who else was arrested. Southern Cali B said G brought her wide, like, snarky pants today. Is that so? Did I? Yeah, I feel this is like, oh my word. Yeah, I probably did. Okay, so who else was arrested? And look at in there. Sir, you were the sheriff. Why the hell is there a mugshot? And one would think, oh, wow, is it because you humiliated a victim? You took a picture of her deceased body, a teenager, 13-year-old Madeline Soto, and then you put it on social media, and then you say, whoops, by mistake, and then I deleted it. You can't make that mistake. That photo shouldn't be on your personal phone. No, that's not what the mugshot's about. Racketeering? What? Like, this is so much worse. Okay, so there have been 6 arrests so far, and there's a 7th due, apparently. Some reports say 7 arrests, but apparently the 7th one hasn't been arrested yet. She's wanted and apparently out of the country. Okay. Okay, so who's been arrested so far? Number 1, Marcos R. Lopez, the former Osceola County Sheriff, charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. This sounds like the P. Diddy case, man. Anyway, Sharon Frederick, charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. I'll show you pictures right after the slide. Number 3, Sheldon Weatherholt. He was charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. Carol Coate, charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. You get the theme. Michael Anthony Ortiz, charged with racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, arrested on. Now, that's reported by Fox 35 Orlando, but I cannot find a picture of him. Okay, so if anyone finds that, send it to me. But don't get confused, because there's another guy with the same name that was arrested for something else. Okay, then Robin Lynn. Whoa, this is where this case was like, oh my word. And then his wife also got arrested. Marcos, the former sheriff's wife, has now also been thrown in the same jail. Oh yes, and they call her his estranged wife. Apparently they've been estranged since 2019. They have 3 children together, but guess what? Oh, both hands are in the cookie jar, his and hers, allegedly, with this whole gambling operation that they have, this whole syndicate. So even though they're estranged, they're still like working together. They also actually said, although Robin claimed to earn just $1,300 a month from a part-time job, investigators found $123,000 in her bank account. Okay, and then Ying Zhang, aka Kate, she's wanted, hasn't been arrested yet, charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering, and they say that this 255-page FDLE affidavit remains sealed because they're waiting for that arrest and other arrests. They foresee that there will be other arrests. Helen O'Hara White said, it just gets worse. I know, and don't worry. Actually, do worry, because it does get worse. It gets worse. Okay, so the operation is described as a criminal syndicate, with Lopez and his associates managing or owning the Fusion Social Club. The business allegedly conducted lotteries and housed slot machines, activities prohibited under Florida law outside regulated contexts. Okay. Here's some pictures. Marcos Lopez, former sheriff of Osceola County. On the right-hand side, his estranged wife, Robin Severance Lopez. We've got Sharon Frederick, Sheldon Weatherholt, Carol Coate, and Ying Zhang, not yet arrested, and then Michael Anthony Ortiz. Can't find a picture of him, right? Janet Murphy says, we want the affidavit. I mean, there's other documents. There's the whole Brady List thing with Sheriff Marcos Lopez. There's what the Attorney General has put out, and they've redacted some of these names, which I'm not sure why. They redacted her name, Ying Zhang, maybe because she's not yet arrested, meaning since then. But the one they posted from their website, we've got it, right? So we're going to look at that. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of which this one must still be arrested. So 6 arrested, 1 to go for now, and then who knows who else will be. I think this case could get even bigger. So on June 23rd of 2025, Marcos Lopez's estranged wife was arrested by Homeland Security officers in Harmony, Florida. She was booked into the Lake County Jail and charged with conspiracy to commit racketeering and conspiracy to invest proceedings from racketeering. Prosecutors allege that Robin Lopez helped move and receive illicit payments estimated at $600,000 to $700,000, primarily through her partnership with Marcos Lopez. She is the 7th person charged in the case. Her bond was set at $400,000, and there's a whole court. Her first court appearance is on YouTube, and she was shocked. So I'm going to link it for you, or we could maybe meet again and watch it another time. Can't make this too long. We'll be here forever if we watch everything. That one is 33 minutes. Marcos Lopez was also in the courtroom, and when the judge, because the defense asked, can we have a $50,000 bond, right? And maybe she thought she could pay the 10% or whatever. Oh no, this judge was like $400,000. She was like, what? Like, she was so shocked. Okay, so her bond set at $400,000. I think it's $200,000 per charge. She's due back in court for arraignment on July 21st of 2025. They initially said for also the same day that he would be back. But now I see there's a bit of an update from articles from the last 24 hours that say her arraignment's for July 21st of 2025. Additional arrests are expected. I found a Facebook. I was going through everything just like, what? Why would you do this? Anyway, and there's a picture of her with Marcos Lopez, her estranged husband, right? Janet Murphy said a lot of rabbits in this hole. I know, this is a rabbit hole, right? Like at surface level, one would look at this and be like, psh, obviously this doesn't affect the case. It's completely different. But then when you start looking at it, you're like, oh crap. Like some of these people should be witnesses at the trial. Wait, what? A multi-agency investigation initiated in 2023. Oh, they've been working hard behind the scenes, huh? By the HSI, Homeland Security, and FDLE uncovered a criminal organization operating in Lake and Osceola counties. The gambling operation centered at the Fusion or Eclipse Social Club involved illegal lotteries and slot machines generating over $21.6 million in profit. This was a big criminal syndicate. Everybody was making big money, taking a big cut. Can you imagine? And then trying to be the freaking sheriff and be like, what? Are you pretending to be an upstanding citizen? The example? I don't think so. Now there you sit in jail. You can't even pay your bond, bro. Sitting there in the Lake County Jail. Florida Attorney General James Utmai described Lopez's actions as a massive, illegal gambling operation and public corruption scheme, emphasizing that public servants must not exploit trust for personal gain. FDLE Commissioner Mark Glass stated that Lopez's actions violated the trust and integrity expected of a sheriff, highlighting the higher standards of law enforcement. For those of you who like and follow Sheriff Grady Judd, he also had things to say. He was deeply disappointed by all of this. I wish we could hear him snark a little bit, because we know that Sheriff Grady Judd sure can snark, and I want to hear it, right? Grace says they'd made a mistake on that Michael fella. It says he's arrested July the 17th. No, he was arrested on June 17th. So they, me. June 17th, Michael Ortiz, but I can't find a picture of him. We will keep following who else gets arrested, who else is let out on bond and all of that, because I think this case could just get bigger and bigger, right? Now, do you remember this? Oh, my word. Nerva Rodriguez. She posted this selfie with Stefan Stones in the background as he was doing his perp walk and being transported from one jail to another. And she posted, if God's love has been poured out of your life, don't allow evil to keep you away from what he has prepared for you, right? Okay, now Nerva Rodriguez served as the executive director of the Osceola County Sheriff's Office under Sheriff Marcos Lopez, a civilian role that she held since 2021. She was fired on June 5th of 2025, the same day that Marcos Lopez was arrested and charged with this racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. She was fired, not arrested. She says she knows nothing about those charges and those allegations. However, I do see there's speculation out there like, wow, that's interesting. Like the day that he's, kicked out is like no longer sheriff, off to jail you go, buddy. Wow, she's also let go, as well as somebody else from his office as well. People were really unhappy with this post, right? So the timing is interesting, right? Now, Nerva posted a selfie-style photo, which I just showed you, on her personal Facebook page, taken seconds before Stearns was placed in a patrol car on March 1st of 2024. This occurred on the same day that Marcos Lopez inadvertently posted a crime scene photo to depict Madeleine Soto's body on his Instagram account, amplifying the controversy within the agency. So imagine, she's posting a selfie with Stefan Stearns. The sheriff who she works under is posting a picture of Madeleine Soto's body on Instagram. I mean, this was a really, really bad day for the sheriff's office. Absolutely terrible. So her post faced a lot of criticism. The juxtaposition of a religious message with a murder suspect's jail transfer was seen as tone deaf, especially given the ongoing grief of Madeleine's family. Both Lopez's and Rodriguez's posts violated the OCSO's social media policy, which prohibits sharing information from ongoing criminal investigations, including photographs and making statements about a suspect's guilt or innocence. The policy aims to maintain confidentiality and impartiality, which both incidents undermined. Right? Oh, man. So I just, like, we remember all these incidents, right? But damn, when you put it all together, a lot was happening at the same time. So Ruben de Jesus, who was described as being a civilian employee after also having worked on Lopez's campaigns, was fired on the same day. Same day. He was also an at-will employee, meaning he could be terminated without cause. And now Christopher A. Blackmon, a leader at Florida Highway Patrol, has been appointed as the interim Osceola County Sheriff, because I'm sure that's your next question. Wait, who's the sheriff now? There's an interim sheriff, this guy, and he says, to the community, I can assure you we're going to do everything we can to get back to respect and trust in the sheriff's office. So I've got a clip of him as well, which we can look at. But yes, and then lastly, oh no, do you guys remember this? 3 Kissimmee police employees were fired. 5 were disciplined after investigation into agency integrity. So you could see here the whole time what's coming up is integrity, chain of custody, protecting the evidence, all of that. Ethics. Betty Holland, who we watched her press conferences throughout the Madeleine Soto search, right, when Maddie was missing. She resigned from her position as the Kissimmee Police Department chief on October 27th of 2024. This followed a letter from the Orange Osceola State Attorney's Office on October 21st of 2024, raising concerns about the truthfulness and conduct of 11 KPD officers, including Chief Holland, in connection with a 2023 excessive use of force case involving Officer Andrew Basigio. The resignation was prompted by a grand jury investigation that questioned Chief Betty Holland's credibility. You see what now? There's a lot. There's too many. It's like, oh no. There's like, did they get the consent from Stefan Stearns correctly to get the information off his phone? We'll have to wait to see what the judge rules. Oh, and then there's the former sheriff Marcos Lopez. Wow, violated his own guidelines. And then we've got these from Kissimmee PD also being looked at. 11 KPD officers. Wow, raising concerns about truthfulness and conduct. The resignation was prompted by a grand jury investigation, looking at Chief Betty Holland's credibility. Her sworn interview was found inconsistent with other testimony, and she was accused of compromising a criminal investigation by disclosing details to Basigio, allowing him to tamper with witnesses. That's not a good look. Mary said, so disappointing. Hope the syndicate is not involved with CSAM. Concerns me about Maddie's pic being taken on his phone. Hope they investigate more. Yeah, my mind also went there, Mary. I was like, oh no, was it really a mistake or what? I hope it's not worse than it already is, right? Thank you so much for the sticker, Mary. So yeah, there's this, and I'm sure if I dig more, I'll unfortunately find more. The Madeleine Soto murder case led by Kissimmee PD involves Stefan Stearns, arrested on February 28th of 2024. Betty Holland's involvement was significant in the initial investigation, particularly in coordinating the search and early evidence collection. She oversaw the investigation's early stages, including the discovery of Madeleine Soto's body and the arrest of Stefan Stearns. So yeah, for anyone that thinks, no man, this is not related at all, it's a little bit related. It's a little bit related, right? Okay, so let me show you this clip now.
Today in a Fox 35 investigation, we're learning more about the suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez and the illegal gambling ring he's accused of running.
Tonight, we are finding out who the owner is of the Eclipse Social Club in Kissimmee, where that alleged gambling took place. Fox 35's Marie Ettinger is live outside the Lake County Jail, where the suspended sheriff is being held. So, Marie, you've been looking into how the owner is connected to all of this. What did you find out?
The owner actually came up yesterday in Robin Severance Lopez's first appearance. She is the wife of the suspended Osceola County Sheriff, and prosecutors say she was in a picture with the alleged owner of the Eclipse Social Club at a Christmas party.
The Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation says Krishna Diakaran is the owner of Eclipse Social Club, the alleged gambling house at the heart of this racketeering case. A couple weeks ago, he had a court order come down in Osceola County to forfeit $139,000 in cash that agents seized as contraband from the Eclipse. And last week, an Orange County judge said they're seizing about $1 million across 4 of his bank accounts. So investigators were already after him by the time one of his alleged employees, Sharon Frederick, told us this as she was leaving jail.
Pick up the owner, Chris, and his wife.
She was arrested earlier this month.
I don't have no involvement in this. Pick up the owner. I'm not the owner.
So I can barely hear what she's saying. I don't know if you can hear, but I think it's like speak to the owner. She's one of the 7 charged, one of the 6 already arrested. I showed you her picture in that gallery of people that have already been arrested in this case related to Marcos Lopez for this racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering, right?
Diakaran wasn't hiding. A civil complaint specifically references TikTok profiles, the Eclipse 561 and Eclipse Social Club, and points to these images advertising the business. MBI says Diakaran told employees they, quote, didn't need to worry about law enforcement at the Eclipse. He'd even called the Osceola County Sheriff's Office a couple of times reporting burglaries. In August of 2022, he said someone broke through the roof at the Eclipse and stole $10,000. Agents with MBI had been doing undercover operations at the Eclipse for months, playing the slots, gathering their earnings, and taking photos along the way, which they included in a civil racketeering complaint against Diakaran. Eventually, MBI started questioning employees at the Eclipse.
Have you made appearances when requested with the investigating agents?
Yes, sir, I have.
Fedrick told investigators she handled money for 3.
Quickly pausing there. Just remember, when we're looking at all of these concerns, these risks, I do think, obviously, if the judge allows all the evidence in from Stefan Stearns' phone, he's screwed. There's way too much evidence. It's like, can't even believe he's taking that to trial. And I think there's, as the district attorney and the state attorney's office said, there's overwhelming evidence against Stefan Stearns. So I don't think, personally, it risks the potential conviction, right? But I do think that this gives the defense a lot more to work with than they've had so far. And that's unfortunate because it's coming from law enforcement themselves. The law enforcement should never be giving the defense things to work with, but now these alleged criminal law enforcement officers, oh man, include the sheriff, really? Come on. That's just so upsetting, right? You never want that.
Of Diakaran's alleged gambling houses across 3 different counties: the Eclipse in Kissimmee, Players Club in Leesburg, and Players Palace in the Villages. A co-defendant named Carol Cote allegedly served as an accountant. Another co-defendant, Sheldon Weatherholt, would make LLCs for those clubs, but told investigators he pulled out when he realized Diakaran was operating illegally. He told Fox 35 the same thing.
I thought I was gonna just be a nice guy and help him learn how to do the sweepstakes and do it legally where he wouldn't get in trouble, where he did it through the state. They went rogue.
Both Fedrick and Weatherholt mentioned another person to investigators, Richie, who allegedly owned the slot machines and leased them out to Diakaran. Fedrick says Diakaran's clubs would make as much as $200,000 a week, and 30% of the profits went to this Richie.
There's a few other new things we learned. One is that the property owner where the Eclipse was located was listed on some of these court complaints. So I gave him a call. He said he's already talked with police. He was not involved with the business. We also learned about how some of these players all know each other. I'll be talking more about that tonight at 6.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot more coming out now I'm just trying to cover what's happened in the last 2 weeks. But I think it's good that we built this foundation now, because who knows where this will go from now, right? I quickly want to show you this as well, which is from the Attorney General's office. They made this press release over here, obviously expressing a lot of disappointment in what was going on. And here they said Attorney General James Utmeyer charges Osceola Sheriff in massive Central Florida illegal gambling operation public corruption scheme. Tallahassee, Florida. Today, Attorney General James Utmeyer's Office of Statewide Prosecution charged Osceola County Sheriff Marcos R. Lopez, you can see it was from June 5th of 2025, and others in a massive Central Florida gambling operation. Initially engaging the operation for campaign contributions and personal payments, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise, using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. This is a solemn day for Florida and our law enforcement community. We put great trust in our constitutional officers, especially those who are our community's first line of defense, said Attorney General James Utmeyer. However, the law must be applied equally, regardless of position, power, or branch of government. Public servants should never exploit the public's trust for personal gain. Our statewide prosecutors will hold Sheriff Lopez, his associates, and all lawbreakers accountable. Today's arrest underscores HSI's commitment to holding everyone, including public officials, accountable. No one, regardless of their position, is above the law, said Homeland Security Investigations Tampa Special Agent in Charge, John Condon. Corruption undermines the integrity of public trust. HSI, along with our partners, are committed to combating it. As law enforcement, we are held to higher standards of integrity. Yeah, one would think. But former Sheriff Lopez is like, whatever, it's fine. Like, wow, he did a lot just from the bit we know already, right? So, allegedly. Anyway, so today's arrest underscores, we read that, okay, as law enforcement, yeah, we are held to higher standards of integrity and character than other professions. This case revealed that Lopez violated the trust and integrity expected of him as the duly elected sheriff of Osceola County, said FDLE Commissioner Mark Glass. Florida sheriffs are leaders, are not for only their office and deputies, but for their community and the citizens that elected them. I want to thank our agents and analysts who worked diligently on this case with HSI and the Office of Statewide Prosecution to make sure that law enforcement officers are held to the standards expected of them. In 2023, a multi-agency investigation led by Homeland Security Investigations and joined by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement uncovered a criminal organization operating an illegal gambling enterprise throughout Central Florida, particularly in Lake and Osceola counties. The organization generated more than $21.6 million in illicit proceeds. Following his election as Osceola County Sheriff in November 2020, Lopez continued to advance the interests of the criminal organization and collected a portion of the illegal gambling proceeds for his involvement. Other individuals are expected to be served with arrest warrants in the coming days. Lopez is charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. Senior Assistant Statewide Prosecutors Colleen Monroe and Panagiotta Papakos will prosecute the defendants in Florida's 5th Judicial Circuit. The investigation is ongoing and other charges may be announced at a later date. Now here, we do love this when they do this. They say, to view the current charging document, click here. Okay. Okay, yes. And there's a document. Don't we just love documents? So here it just says State of Florida, and there's another copy that MB Inc. had sent me where he said that at the courts that actually, I have that copy as well, they'd redacted some of the names, so I'm not too sure why that is. Like they redacted Sheldon's name and they redacted Ying's name, so I don't know if there's updates in that. As far as I know and what I could read, yeah, they're still looking for Ying Zhang and they think that she's left the country, right? So you could just see that all of these people, look at that, State of Florida versus all these people. Information, count 1, racketeering, and count 2, conspiracy to commit racketeering. And they say, right, we look at that. They're charging all these people while employed by or associated with an enterprise as defined in Florida statute did conduct or participate directly or indirectly in such enterprise through a continuous pattern of racketeering activity as defined in those Florida statutes, right? And so here they go, predicate incident 1, unlawful use of 2 communications device. Okay, they did use a 2-way communication device, including but not limited to a portable 2-way wireless communication device to facilitate or further the commission of a felony offense. Okay, same as count 2, same as count 3. And so they go, and so for those wondering where this was, I just want to see, because they do mention there. If you are in Florida, it was this place called Fusion Social Club LLC, also known as Eclipse Social Club, at this Bronson Memorial Highway in Kissimmee. That's where it was apparently operating, right? And so the document you can read yourself, because I'm going to link this for you. I'm going to put this link for you. I don't want to bore you or waste your time. I just want to show you all the things that I could find so far. Let me just quickly see if I showed you everything I wanted to show you. So we looked at that, yes. Oh, yeah. I want to show you the interim Osceola County Sheriff. We're going to get back to respect and trust, he said. So check this one out.
Oh, got it. Okay. Interim Chief Blackman, how are you feeling right now? And can you talk about the situation that you've been placed in? This is obviously sudden.
First, I want to thank the governor. Profoundly grateful for the governor and for Executive Director David Kerner of the Highway Patrol to consider me for the sheriff of Osceola County and to ultimately be appointed through executive order by the governor as the sheriff of Osceola. The agency here is reeling, obviously, from the arrest of former Sheriff Lopez on his RICO charges. Today's been, everything has been like by a fire hose. We're trying to ensure the employees here that this is not a systemic problem at the sheriff's office. This is a problem that occurred with the sheriff, and he's got to answer for his charges.
What would you like the community to know? Because when you hear of an arrest from your sheriff who's supposed to be enforcing the law, breaking the law himself, of course that's unsettling.
It's very unsettling, and to the community, I can assure you we're going to do everything we can to get back your respect and trust in the sheriff's office. It is not an agency-wide problem. It was, again, one person. So we have a lot of good men and women here, sworn and non-sworn, to make this place run. So we will take care of this county like I have the state of Florida with the Highway Patrol.
I'm going to link this for you if you want to watch the whole clip, of course. I just want to show you that's the new interim sheriff. And I just think, like, can you imagine how much responsibility he has on his shoulders now, and especially following something like that, right? Let me just make this smaller. Hold on.
We knew it's not your...
Wow. Following the arrest of the former sheriff, and under those circumstances, that's really bad, right? Oh my goodness. So, okay, I will link that for you. I just want to see if I showed you everything else. So I'm going to link as well where Marcos Lopez's bond was set at $1 million. His first full court appearance, including his wife's first court appearance as well, which that was recent, actually. This was only posted 2 days ago. So I'm going to post that I'll put that in the description box for you as well, so that you have links to everything if you want to check it out. Of course, if you want to watch it with me, let me know in the comments below. Then maybe we could do that sometime, right? Okay, so that is what we have right now. So for those who missed the beginning, just know that yes, the former sheriff of Osceola County, Marcos Lopez, was arrested and charged with racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. And then there's been 6 arrested so far. 1 other person is wanted, and there could be more arrests as well. Could it affect the case? Hopefully not. Hopefully this doesn't affect the case against Stefan Stearns, who is set to go on trial twice this year. One for child SA material charges. That trial is set for now. It keeps being postponed for now for July 15th of 2025, right? I don't know if it'll be streamed or not. We'll have to wait and see. But let's see if it actually happens on that date or not, or if there'll be more delays. The judge still has to rule on whether the evidence on his phone will be allowed in or not. That's why I'm saying that's already a risk. If he allows it in, well, there's so much evidence, right? I think someone like former Sheriff Marcos Lopez may have needed to testify at the second trial, but he might not even then, based on his lack of or questionable credibility given the circumstances of his charges, right? It's just like amazing to me that the sheriff, his wife, and then 5 others were just thrown in jail, and they've just uncovered this huge thing. Sure, that's quite a lot, right? Okay, so let me quickly read some of your comments here, because I've obviously been focused on my presentation. Janie's Child says, watch it with you, right? So yeah, it is on YouTube there, but maybe we can watch it together sometime. Let's first let people catch up to what on earth is going on in this case, and why there are any concerns at all between the former Kissimmee Chief Betty Holland, the former Sheriff of Osceola County. Oh man, let's hope there's no other risk factors that pop up, right? Okay, so I am going to go now. Thank you so much for listening to all of this with me. Let's keep our eye on all of this as well. Let's continue to follow. If there's other documents that come out, I'll let you know as well. And yeah, we shall see what the judge decides by June 30th, and then I'll definitely keep you posted. Becca, thank you so much for the sticker. I really appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who's buying coffees for the mods and for me as well. Thank you to Brittany for sending me a PayPal. Thank you so much for your PayPal gift. My channel is now 4 years old, you guys. Can you believe it? My channel's 4 years old, so thank you so much for everyone who remembers and who sends gifts like that. I really appreciate it. Cynthia said, finally caught it live. Love you, G, and all the Grizzlies. All right, so if you missed the beginning, go watch it. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think that this could affect the case or not? I really hope not. I really hope not. Thankfully, the DAs are saying, you know, don't worry. There's a lot of evidence against Stefan Stearns. This shouldn't affect it, but let's see. I want to hear your comments, though. Leave them below, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Stay.